But one thing that was unforeseen was that the game led to something much bigger. Not a Pikachu, but the body of a dead man.
Pokemon Go, the freemium location-based augmented reality game, is undoubtedly a worldwide sensation. But I have to say I am not a huge fan. And my judgment has nothing to do with the bizarre news stories that came out following the game's launch. Sure, there have been stories about people getting into car crashes because of Pokemon Go, but as long as we have had cell phones, alcohol, or children in the backseat who won't shut up, we have had accidents from distracted or impaired driving. There have also been stories of criminals targeting children in Pokemon-rich parks, or young people finding dead bodies in search of becoming the very best.
Not a Pikachu, but the body of a dead man.
But kids found dead bodies in the 1950s too. You know why? They played outside. And getting children to go outside is hands down the app's greatest redeeming feature. Take the case of Roberto Vazquez, a Canadian man who may very well have been the first person to catch all the available North American Pokemon Go creatures. He lost 25 pounds in the process. So the game is clearly helping people to get outside and exercise. And I don't even blame the game for allowing Hillary Clinton to deliver the worst joke in human history.
Try to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
But I still hate it. Why? Well, to answer that, we have to answer a bigger question about the Pokemon Go phenomenon. Why is this happening? Pokemon Go is undeniably a huge financial success. While Nintendo's stock price made headlines recently because its shares dropped by 17.7%, that was only after they more than doubled in value following the game's launch. In reality, the profit from the game is split between several companies: the Pokemon Company, Nintendo, Niantic, the company that developed the game, and the game's distributors Apple and Android. Make no mistake, the game has generated a lot of money. According to the analysis firm App Annie, it generated $120 million in revenue in less than a month. But despite the profitability, the game is not what you might expect a hit game would be in the 21st century. One New York-based indie game developer, Mikhail Favorov, said of the game, "That joy of finding the Pokemon in the real world, it was like magic." But in point of fact, it's really about as magic as a poorly designed Snapchat filter. Except that the Pokemon Go characters have no connection to the real-world setting they are placed in, quite unlike a Snapchat filter which actually connects to the real world. The honest trailer from Smosh Games sums up the gameplay fairly well.
In this groundbreaking combination of mild cardio, Google Maps, and paper toss.
So if the game is so terrible, why is it making so much money? Well, to understand that, we need to dissect what a freemium game is. Freemium games actually make far more money than paid games. And the biggest name in freemium is Supercell, the Finnish company behind games like Clash of Clans, Boom Beach, Heyday, and Clash Royale. According to VentureBeat, the company made $2.3 billion in revenue in 2015 from just 3 games. Most people who play freemium games actually make very few in-app purchases, but a small percentage end up getting addicted and spend massively. Only about 10% of gamers make up about half the revenue coming in from mobile gaming, and according to siteguides.com, these heavy spenders, termed whales, have been directly compared to the big fish courted by casinos. In fact, game developers work very hard to create something Tom Chatfield calls a reward schedule.
Carefully calibrating the rate, the nature, the type, the intensity of rewards in games to keep them engaged over staggering amounts of time and effort.
So the addiction is actually designed into the game. And the game doesn't have to be good to hook people. For example, Business Insider journalist Dave Smith admits to being addicted to the Simpsons freemium game Tapped Out. And that game is about as simple, boring, and pointless as you could possibly imagine. So because of the freemium model, you have people like Benny Alfonso, who has actually quit his job to pursue Pokemon Go full-time, having convinced himself that one day it will pay off for him. Or remember Roberto, our Canadian friend who actually caught them all. Well, even though he has essentially beat the game, he now plans to start a new account and do it all over again. And sure, he may have lost weight playing Pokemon Go, but there's actually a better way to stay healthy and active than furiously tapping your way to victory at a Pokemon Go gym. It's called an actual gym.
Time.
Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time. Time
It's a game.
So if you find yourself maxing out credit cards, paying for extra data and Pokecoins, or staying up all night and missing work in a ludicrous attempts to catch them all, take a minute, stop, and ask yourself, why is this happening?
It's you and me. I know it's my destiny. Oh.
I know what time it is. Get your phone, get your iPhone, get everything ready. Come out in Central Park.